worried about my friend. All this culty manipulation shit, it's not like Alex. I don't like what this is doing to him. And to top it off, I have to face an actual cult. I've got to face this Fist guy. I don't like it. And I don't like what I have to do now. But I'm pretty sure there's only one guy I can call. Shit. Alright, let's do it.
Well. Coach Shroom. It has been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, not long enough, apparently. So, what do I call you these days? Is it Necro? Or are you still using that Velvet Man persona?
Ah, yes. The Velvet Man. A mask, if you will. All those miscreants running around Draft League City scrambling for power. It was tiresome. The Velvet Man put the fear into them. And that pleased me. And just look at the city now. Ruined. And that pleases me more. And I see the young Master Onesie has finally taken my advice and embraced the shadows. How delicious.
Yeah, it's a freaking hoot. So I'm sure you're fine with this Fist fella and his cult gaining traction out there?
Yes. Word of this Fist has reached my ears. It vexes me. I am the only one who should have that kind of sway out there in the wilds. That kind of following is something I have worked tirelessly for, and he swans in and starts brainwashing people? I will not stand for it.
Oh yeah? What are you gonna do? It's not like you're out there battling. Look, I know you're still somewhere in this city, and I know you have an ear to the ground. Where do I find this guy?
And why should I help you?
You don't like him. He's a threat to your reach, and you want him gone so you can take what you think is your rightful place out there, right? And I need him gone so I can try and help regain control in the city. Win-win if we pool resources, right?
After the things you've done to stop me in the past, Coach Shroom, how naive.
Okay, enough. Look, enough of the Velvet Man, enough of Necro. I want to talk to Steve. My friend, Steve. Look, I know you're in there. Help me out, man. And I can help you. We may have been rivals, but first and foremost, we were friends. I've already lost one friend to madness and rituals. Don't become a second. Come back, Steve.
No. I don't think so. It's too late for that. This is who I am now. I'm sorry, Dave. Truly, there is a part of me that is sorry. But I can never go back. Not now. Not anymore. take the back roads to the docks. There's a club under the arches where Fist hold court with his cult. He likes to plan alone there in the early hours.
Steve-O, thank you. I won't forget this, man.
Damn right you won't. Our goals may be aligned with the common enemy now, but don't forget, I always collect on my debts.
Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and welcome to week number 5 of the MBC. Yes indeed, we have gotten off to a great start with 4-0, which is fantastic, but this week we are taking on the only other undefeated coach in our division. It is FistToYourDoom and the Cult. His links down in the description below, make sure you check them out along with everyone else. Really not going to be an easy one this match. He has got a team that consists of Meowscarada, Iron Moth, Zapdos, Metagross, Tentacruel, Diancie, Mamoswine, Illumise, Rufflet, and Urshifu Rapid Strike. His Tera captains are the Iron Moth and the Rufflet, which we are taking seriously as a threat, you know. Big respect to him for taking Tera Rufflet. That thing can hit hard. So, who are we going to be bringing against him? Well, starting off, as ever, is Iron Valiant. It is Life Orb. We have Max Special Attack, 208 Speed. Modest is allowing us to outpace that Iron Moth. Moonblast, Vacuum Wave, Psyshock, and Energy Ball on there. We're pretty much just back at the school of Iron Valiant clicks buttons and hits hard. That's pretty much what we're rocking with. Then we have a Choice Scarfed Raging Bolt, hoping to try and get some surprise damage against his faster threats. We have Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Draco, and Eerie Impulse on there. 180 Speed, Timid, Max Special Attack, the rest into Special Defense. Fairly classic set other than the Eerie Impulse. This is in the case of the Iron Moth. If it starts getting out of control with Fiery Dances, we can hopefully use this as a sort of suicide Eerie Impulse, take down that special attack and try and live to fight another day. Then we have Blastoise returning to the team. We've gone very offensive here. Life Orb, Shell Smash with Surf, Ice Beam, and Hyper Beam. Yes, 128 special attack, 200 speed, 160 HP. We're OHKOing Zapdos with Ice Beam after a Shell Smash. The idea being that normally Shell Smash sets will run Surf, Ice Beam, and Earthquake. Earthquake would look good to hit the Metagross or the Tentacruel, so I'm imagining that he'd want to try and revenge this with an Urshifu that could possibly take a hit at +2, and we can just bop it with Hyper Beam, and then because we can try and OHKO that, anything he wants to bring in is going to have to revenge immediately. It can't afford to set up unless it's like a very speedy Agility Metagross or Zapdos, something like that. Then we have Bulky Offensive Choice Banded Ting-Lu. 192 attack, Adamant, max defense to maximize the hits we can take there. Earthquake, Throat Chop, Stone Edge, and Heavy Slam will hit pretty much everything he's got super effectively, or at the very least neutrally. I kind of wanted to run Hazards, but he's got very, very reliable removal in the form of that Tentacruel that I'm kind of expecting to come, so maybe not the best idea to be running Spikes or Rocks on Ting-Lu, but hopefully we can nab some surprise KOs with the power that it's packing. Speaking of power, then we have Maranga Berry, Iron Defense, Terra Ghost, Glastria, Max Special Defense, Careful Nature, lowering the special attack, 164 in speed, allowing us to outpace stuff like the Diancie. We have the Maranga Berry because we shouldn't be 2-hit KO'd once we're terrored by the likes of Zapdos or Iron Moth, or Diancie if that's special, certainly not Illumise, stuff like this. Get some Iron Defenses up, Body Press our way through the team if we can, Rest Talk for that longevity. If I get enough Iron Defenses up, stuff like the Illumise, the Tentacruel, the Zapdos, the Iron Moth, even the Rufflet will not be taking Body Presses. And the final member of the team is going to be a debut at long last for Brambleghast, and we're bringing our second Scarfer. Max Attack Adamant, 188 to speed is allowing us to outpace anything that isn't Scarfed. We have Power Whip, Poltergeist, Pounce and Rapid Spin. Rapid Spin was a very late addition over Spikes. I thought that basically I'm going to be clicking Power at 90% of the time. Poltergeist if the thing resists it, and Pounce is exclusively there for lead Meowscarada, which Fist has shown a bit of a proclivity to go for. I'm leading with Brambleghast whatever happens, and just clicking a move against whatever's there. If it's the Meowscarada, with the investment I'm anticipating him to have, if he brings it, which I'm fairly sure he will, I'm expecting him to have like 52 or 56 into HP, just to guarantee he's speed creeping my Iron Val. Pounce has like a 90% chance to OHKO, and I'll take those odds any day. So that is the team we are going to be rocking with. Let's get into the battle screen and see what Fist has decided to bring against us. So, as you can see, Fist has decided to bring Iron Moth, Mamoswine, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Rufflet, Diancie, and Meowscarada. That is Tera Bug Iron Moth and Tera Flying on the Rufflet. And again, Tera Flying Rufflet can hit super hard, especially if he's Hustle, especially if he's Choice Banded. Both of which, looking at the fact he's brought it, kind of anticipating that's what we're rocking with. But my decision doesn't change. I'm leading off with my Brambleghast, and I'm just going to try and hit something hard straight off the bat. So let's get into the battle and see how that plays out. So here we are, MBC Week 5 against FistToYourDoom and the Cult. He is going to be leading off with the Mamoswine, as we're going to go with Brambleghast on debut. Now, looking like potentially like a Sash Rocks lead, but I don't want to be making any early predictions at this time. I'm just going to click Power Whip. I should be outspeeding him. I doubt that he would lead with Scarf Mamo. So I'm going to click Power Whip and just try and cause damage to something immediately. There's no Zapdos to switch in here, so this could cause quite a bit of damage. So Fist is going to get out of there. He doesn't like that lead matchup, and he is going to go hard into the Meowscarada. It would have been great if I'd have clicked Lunge, but I didn't want to overpredict that early. As it is, we're going to come in with Power Whip, and that is going to do like a considerable amount of damage. And already, that is very much in range of Vacuum Wave from Iron Val, which is nice. Now, I don't actually switch into this thing amazingly. Raging Bolt would be nice, but if he suspects me to be like a lead Sash set, he could be going for Triple Axle here. I don't want Roger to come in on that. I will take it, but I won't take it as well as I would like. So my best option here really is to go into my Glastrier and even maybe try and get that going as early as possible. He doesn't have amazing switch-ins to a boosted body press at this point, so I'm happy to go for it, given that there's no Zapdos there. So, gonna call on back Brambleghast, and I am gonna make the switch into my Glastrier coming in here, as the Toxic Spikes are gonna come out from Meowscarada. So really glad that I made the last minute decision to put Rapid Spin on my Brambleghast. But now, really, I don't overly fear him. Even if I go Terra Ghost, a knockoff isn't going to be doing a whole huge amount, especially without the stab boost from the Protean that he could try and go for. But either way, I'm just going to click Iron Defense here and see if we can't get Body Press going really early game. Now, Fist is going to make a very, very good multi-purpose switch here and go hard into the Urshifu Rapid Strike as I go for the Iron Defense. Now, this is good for him because it would take an Avalanche or an Icicle Crash, and it gets in there before I can start setting up, and he can go for Surging Strikes, which will crit through my boosts. However, I am just going to fire off a Body Press at this time. If he's Scarfed, he isn't 2-hit KOing me, and that's kind of what I'm anticipating him to be going with. So I'm going to Tera up, go for Body Press, and see how much damage we can do. So, I'm going to Tera up with Glastrier, go for Body Press. Now, my Iron Defense, as I say, won't save me from the crits on Surging Strikes, but it is going to power up this Body Press to what I'm hoping will be a 2-hit KO, and we can try and win this 1v1 exchange. So here, as you see, come the Surging Strikes. It is not doing a whole huge amount because Glastrier is stupid bulky. And as you'll see, the third one comes in, it's doing just under half, which is great. If he's Scarfed, this won't be taking us out, and we get a big crit Body Press in response. That is fantastic. He is now very much in range of Vacuum Wave as well if he is the Scarfed set, but I'm hoping that a Body Press will just be able to pick up the KO here. So, in is going to come the second round of Surging Strikes, and as you'll see, he is going to get some slightly higher rolls, and we don't live the hit. Now, this means he's not Scarfed. Scarfed wouldn't be able to take us out there. It turns out he's Punching Glove. So we either got a low roll, then a regular, or a regular, then a high. Either way, it's unfortunate, and we do lose our Glastria, but it has done some significant chip to a major threat. Now, I would have loved to have gone into Blastoise and Shell Smash, but as you'll see, those Toxic Spikes are there, and that is going to be a problem if I want to Shell Smash on something. So what I've chosen to do is go into Bramblegast and get the spin off. There are potentially other things here that I can try and set up a Shell Smash on, and Rapid Spin is going to 2-hit KO this Urshifu at the very least, and there's, I don't think, any way that he can straight up OHKO me, so I'm just going to try and get the spin off, get rid of those T-Spikes as early as possible, and try and circumvent them later on. So, here comes that Scarf Rapid Spin. It's not quite going to pick up the kill on Urshifu, but it's very crucial that I get those Toxic Spikes off the field as soon as possible. As you see, Surging Strikes is going to come in, and it's going to be doing a considerable number on my Bramblegast, but it isn't going to get the OHKO, that's for sure. We'll take a bit of Toxic Spikes damage, but it's okay because we've gotten rid of the T-Spikes. And now I am just going to stay in and click Rapid Spin again. There is always the chance that he does decide to just give me this and then go into yet another threat. And thankfully, Fist is just going to give me the Urshifu, which is great. We get that subsequent Rapid Spin off. Urshifu is going to go down Bramblegast, picking up a KO on debut, which is really nice to see. But now, as I say, Fist is free to just go into any number of threats that he might have left. He knows that we're Scarfed at this point, unless he's a very slow Urshifu. He will know that I'm Scarfed to about sped him. But, as I say, we're just going to have to wait and see what he goes into. This would seem like a great chance for the Iron Moth, but in the end, sorry, it's actually going to be the Diancie. Now, I don't want to stay in here, and I can still potentially get off 1 or 2 big hits with Bramblegast. So I'm going to make the play into my Ting-Lu to take on whatever this guy wants to throw at me. So going to call back Manners, having done a nice job, and we're going to go into Ting-Lu to try and tank any hit from this Diancie. He might just want to go straight for the kill, but as you see, he's going to go for the spikes. Knowing I'm locked into Rapid Spin, that's a fairly free play, and he could just keep on going for them if I chose to stay in, because I'll be wearing myself down with toxic damage. But with Diancie in here, I am just going to straight up click Heavy Slam. There's nothing that really wants to switch in on this, like the Iron Moth will take it, but I'm banded and it won't take it well. So, Fist is going to pull back the Diancie. He can certainly get some good use of that later, and he is going to go hard into Rufflet, I guess expecting a Ruination or an Earthquake, but we're just going to go for Heavy Slam, and Rufflet, thanks for playing. Yeah, I mean, I know that he'll be mad that it didn't get to do much, but I'm sure we'll see more Rufflet in the future from him. But I was thankful to get it out of the way without doing any damage to my team. Like, honestly, things don't switch into Banded Hustle Rufflet. So, target neutralized, but now in comes the Iron Moth. Now, remember, this thing is Tera Bug, and it can do a whole huge amount of damage to me if it so chooses. Like, Ting-Lu will take the hit. We notice that he isn't Booster Energy, so he could be Choiced, he could be Boots. Any of those are incredibly viable. He could be a move weakening Berry, but either way, I don't want to stay in here. And Raging Bolt, it may not be particularly specially bulky, it may not be Assault Vest, but it will take this hit the best, especially if he chooses to try start boosting himself with Fiery Dance. So, I'm going to make the play into Raging Bolt, call on back Ting-Lu. Like I say, this is arguably the member of my team that is going to take this initial hit the best. So, I'm going to come in here, take some Spikes damage. He is not going to Tera, he's just going to go for the Fiery Dance, which is going to do not a huge amount to me, but still a decent chunk, and he's going to get that special attack boost. However, there is every chance that he doesn't KO me with another, especially if he's choiced. He won't be KOing me, so I'm pretty sure he's going to want to get out of there and go into either the Diancie or the Mamoswine, because they are immune to my stab moves. But I figure Diancie's going to be his safest play. A Diancie is going to take an electric move far better than Mamoswine is going to take a dragon move. So I figured Diancie is his safest middle ground, so I am just going to go for the Thunderbolt. That covers the base of Diancie coming in, or him staying in to go for more boosts. And he is indeed going to switch out of there, cementing that he could very well be a Choice Scarfed set of his own. He is going to go back into the Diancie as we suspected, and this Thunderbolt is going to come in and do so very little, like 25 to 30-ish%. It's good chip, but I'm going to go hard back into my Ting-Lu here. I don't want to be taking a Moonblast or Dazzling Gleam or whatever fairy move it wants to go for, and I want to threaten it if it wants to try and set up more hazards on me. So I'm going to pull Raging Roger on back, as I say, and go back into my Ting-Lu, which is going to be taking this thing on the best, and take a bit of spikes damage. That's fine. Vessel of Ruin, hopefully going to take its hit even better, but it turns out he is physically offensive in a way, and he's going to go for the Play Rough. It's not going to do a massive amount. I'm very physically defensive. And here I make just a bit of a silly play. I had no real reason here not to go for Heavy Slam. Like I say, the only thing taking it is going to be that Iron Moth, and that's kind of why I went for Earthquake here. But Heavy Slam was always going to be the better play. It Oko's this, it'll Oko the Meowscarada, and it'll probably Oko the Mamoswine. But I chose to go for Earthquake just in case he wanted to go balls to the wall and go back into that very threatening Iron Moth, because we're getting to the point where Raging Bolt won't be taking those hits as well anymore. So back out goes Diancie, and Fist is indeed going to send in that Mamoswine. So really sad that I didn't go for the Heavy Slam. We do just go for the Earthquake, and that is still going to do a heck of a lot of damage. And here I'm going to make another silly misplay. This has happened before, where I switch out Ting-Lu where I don't necessarily need to. In my eyes, he could very well be packing the Icicle Spear. He could be very offensive as that potential Sash lead. And I don't want to be staying in with my Moose. I can still take some hits further on down the line if needs be, especially from that Diancie, which I'm pretty sure I outpace. What I'm going to opt to do here is sack off my my Brambleghast, figuring I can deal with a layer of spikes if I have to. So as I say, I'm going to get out of there with Ting-Lu and go back into my Brambleghast to sack it off to an Ice move, forgetting entirely what I told myself early game, which was that he led with this, so it could be rocks. And there indeed are those rocks. Now they're going to be there to stay because Brambleghast has taken that round of spikes and unfortunately is going to go down to the poison damage. So unfortunately Brambleghast goes down. It did get a kill, which is nice, and now we are faced with Mamoswine. So I'm going to go into Blastoise here. I'm running out of things that this Blastoise can set up a Shell Smash on, but I'm figuring with him having a potential Sash broken, I can take an Earthquake, if he is that Sash lead Mamo, set up a Shell Smash, take a subsequent Ice Shard, even though I don't have massive investment and I don't have a White Herb. I'll take that hit, take him out, and then he'll have to hope that he has some kind of priority, arguably Sucker Punch, on the Meowscarada to stop me from just winning with Blastoise here. This is the only opportunity I have to go for Shell Smash, so I am going to go for it. And then I outspeed. This I was not expecting in the slightest. I was fully anticipating this Mamoswine to outspeed me, not kill with Earthquake, and then die to a subsequent hit. This does not happen. He is a very specially bulky Mamoswine with attack investment, and that Earthquake is just going to clean me out. I was not expecting slow Mamo at all, and this has put me in a real pickle. The only play I have is to go into my Iron Valiant. Now, he will go down to a Vacuum Wave. There's no way, shape or form about it. That's going to happen. So that is what I'm going to have to click. This is the only way I can do this without risking like a Draco miss on my Raging Bolt, and then subsequently potentially allowing something to come in and set up on me when I'm locked in at -2. So I'm going to have to go for Vacuum Wave, take out this Mamoswine, and then try and go from there and hope we can stop that Iron Moth from getting too far out of control. So in comes Vacuum Wave. He is in fact Choppleberry, but that is not going to save him, of course. I am a Life Orb Iron Valiant that is killing every single day. Down goes the Mamoswine, but it has really rattled me. I was not expecting it to be slow, and it has really helped Fist circumvent a potentially very dangerous Shell Smash issue with Blastoise. So in comes the Iron Moth. It has taken no damage. I'd forgotten that. I got my damage rolls on that thing mixed up with the ones on the Diancie, which is a problem. Should have written it down, didn't. My thinking here is I have to go into Raging Bolt, try and tank a hit, and then potentially go from there. I figured if I had to sack off the Raging Bolt and he locks into Sludge Wave, then so be it. I can then go into my Ting-Lu, tank the hit, and start going for Heavy Slams and try and put everything in range of my Iron Valiant. So calling back Iron Valiant, we are, as I say, going to go into Raging Bolt, our choice Scarfer, the other one that's left, but we take the Spikes damage and we take the Rocks damage. And remember, this isn't a particularly invested in bulk Raging Bolt. Fist is free to go Tera Bug on the Iron Moth, and that is exactly what he is going to opt to do. There is a Sludge Wave coming my way, there is not a whole huge amount I can do about that, and here it comes. That Sludge Wave is going to come in, and as I say, because we're not very invested, that's going to take out Raging Bolt. The play really there was probably to go into my Ting-Lu, but I figured I probably still needed Ting-Lu for that Diancie because I'd forgotten it had taken some damage. If I'd gone into Ting-Lu there, we would have been in a much better position. We'd have tanked that hit and tried to go from there and still had our Scarf Raging Bolt left. But now I have to go back into Ting-Lu and I have to hope that he actually is Choice Scarfed. So in comes Ting-Lu, and here's the state of play. Heavy Slam will OHKO his last two mons, and it will do significant damage to this Iron Moth. So I have to kind of hope that I can tank a hit and really hope that he is Scarfed. I have to kind of go for the Heavy Slam here and hope to do enough damage to put this in range of my Iron Valiant. And unfortunately, he's not Choice Scarfed. He's going to go for Bug Buzz. Now, Ting-Lu's good, but it's not that good, especially when I'm very physically defensive, not specially. We're going to go down to that Bug Buzz, and now all I have left is the Iron Valiant. He is still at full health. I should have gone into Ting-Lu first and got chipped with my Scarf Raging Bolt that I hadn't revealed as Scarfed. Then we could have had a chance because Meowscarada goes down to a Vacuum Wave and we potentially have a roll on Energy Ball into the Diancie. But I'm going to need a Mega Crit Moonblast to OHKO this Moth from here. It's looking rough. So in comes the Moonblast, and it's just not enough, unfortunately. Fist is going to be able to go for the Sludge Wave. That is taking out my Iron Valiant all day, every day, and down it goes. Iron Moth coming through in a huge way at the end of the game there, and that's going to be the game. So yeah, unfortunate, real unfortunate loss. We do end our winning streak, unfortunately, but it is to the man himself, FistToYourDoom, who remains the only unbeaten coach in our division. His links down in the description below. Make sure you check them out. There is no shame in losing to Fist. He is a very good player and certainly, if nothing else, a fast rising star on the scene. He is putting in big shifts in Draft League, and full credit to him for doing so. He's a very good player and he's got some good content. His reactions are fantastic. You should absolutely go and check his content out, along with everyone else in the league, of course. Links down in the description. You know, there are plays I could have made differently, like that end game I should have gone into Ting-Lu, or maybe even just stayed in with Val, taken my chip, found out he's not Choice Scarfed, and then gone into Raging Bolt maybe to see if I could do some damage there. It's a tough one. It's a tough one, you know. At the time I thought I was making the right plays. The big one that got me was shell smashing on the Blastoise when I thought I wouldn't outspeed the Mammo. Very good building on Fist's part, as we have come to expect from him. But yeah, we take the loss. We're 4-1. We're still in a very good position on the table. Next time is a bit of a grudge match. We're going to be taking on Q for the first time since PPL Season 2, I believe it is. So that's going to be an interesting one. Always a pleasure to play against him, but that's a story for another time. I'm going to get out of here. I've rambled on far too long, so my final thank you to you all for watching. And I guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.